We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. See, this is what I was talking about regarding Jaron Boots Ennis. And y'all didn't want to listen to little old me. So I'm back with another video. And some of you guys may or may not like it. I'm just going to report the news. So I got a Jaron Boots Ennis potential opponent update. And spoiler alert, I don't really like it. And I don't think you will either. So stay tuned to the end of this video. We'll go over it. Listen. I made a video, and it's so funny how these things continue to work, bro. I made a video, right? And it was 20 plus minutes before this news even broke about Jaron Boots Ennis. I'm like, what's going on with his career? You know, kind of where's he at? What's the game plan, if you will? These are the concerns I had in the video. And sure enough, after I had already recorded the video, uploaded and everything, this news comes out, which furthers my point. So feast your eyes on this. Ring Magazine came out and reported that Eddie Hearn says we have actually offered the fight to Josh Kelly yesterday. So they sent an offer to Josh Kelly to fight Jaron Boots Ennis. I like the fight, and it could be a WBO final eliminator for the Xander Zayas fight. Huh? Bro, what is going on with Jaron Ennis' career, bro? Now, I love my life. I feel vindicated. When Boots first signed with Eddie Hearn, I told you I had questions. I was like, Eddie Hearn hasn't really produced an American star. Somebody where the guy wasn't popping, and then they teamed up with Eddie Hearn, and he turned him into a bona fide star. Couple guys maybe were already popular, like Canelo Alvarez was already popular in America, and he got paychecks to like Danny Jacobs, Tevin Farmer maybe, but not these big blockbuster signature fights for anybody, especially an American, right? And if you disagree, tell me, because Canelo's not American, Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, Derek Chisora, none of these guys are American. Billy Joe Saunders. So tell me an American star that Eddie Hearn produced. So when Boots signed with Eddie Hearn, I immediately had questions, and you guys said I was hating. Now, fast forward to the future, Boots is closer to 30 than he isn't, and he's fighting the same level of competition, bro. And it's so funny because old media, make sure you follow me on social media at BOXINGEGO1. Help the page get to 75,000 followers. Link is in the description as well. When it comes to a guy like Gervonta Davis, right? People, they're like, oh, Tank Davis, he's 30 years old. When is Tank gonna step it up? When is Tank Davis? Tank that, tank this, take that, take that, take that Diddy voice, right? This is what people are saying, right? When is Gervonta Davis gonna step up? But you look at Jaron Ennis and you look at Gervonta Davis. Davis has had big fights where everybody stopped what they were doing and watched. Big fights. Ryan Garcia, you know, Frank Martin, Pitbull Cruz, LeBron James was there. LeBron James, you know, stars are coming out. Madonna, Tory Lanez, they were at different fights of his. So one, he's done big fights, big events, right? Two, he's had better names per capita, right? Names you're familiar, like Pitbull Cruz became a champion after Tank fought him and just fought and dominated his opponent, even though it was a late replacement, right? So Pitbull's done good for himself. Rolly is now a champion after fighting Gervonta Davis, so on and so forth, right? Ryan came back after Tank knocked him out and beat Devin Haney initially, right? So it's funny that the same culprits, old media, the resistance, they never bring this up because Boots is he's part of the good boy program, right? He's tethered to people that they like, which is not Al Heyman, the black advisor, not PBC. He left like being closer to the PBC thing. So they're not going to really hassle a guy like Boots because of who he's connected to. But if you really look at it, how is it these same people, they say Tank ain't fought nobody, but then Boots, you got with Eddie Hearn, and then everyone was like, I had questions about it. Your boy Ego had questions about it. And you guys told me, oh man, he wasn't active with Showtime and Espinoza. They didn't keep him active. And then now he's making bigger checks. And let's say he's more active, which really he's not. He's really not more active. And I could pull it up, right? Because when he was with PBC on PBC cards, not with PBC, let me rephrase that. When he was on PBC cards, he fought Roman Villa, and that was his second fight that particular year, Karen Chukadzian. So he's not really fighting more than 2 fights in any given year since being with Eddie Hearn, right? He fought David Avocado and Karen Chukadzian, and then he fought Stanionis, right? So it's not like he's fighting a gang more times. But the main question I had is, even if he was more active, which history shows he's not really fighting much more than what he was before, the competition, who is he fighting? Josh Kelly, who wants to see that, bro? Who, like, honestly, name one person. You have an American guy who has potential to be a star, right? In Jaron Boots Ennis. Name one person from America who's been clamoring to see this. So it's like, what is Eddie Hearn doing? You got Josh Kelly. He got 50% knockout ratio. So he only has like 19 fights, less than 20 fights, right? 19 fights, average knockout percentage against mediocre competition. Mediocre, like Tank Davis said, right? Bear in mind, this is who he's been fighting. Flavius. Bro, that sounds like a gay gladiator. Who is Flavius? Bia. Like, bro, who is Flavius? Who is, like, bro, he got 2 losses, both by knockout. So Flavius, the 300 Spartan warrior, he got knocked out by Josh Kelly in 1 round, and he had already been smoked by this fella, Valentine's, fake Golovkin. Yeah, no, guy, yeah, Max is spots is nothing, Max. Right? I don't even know who none of these people are. So this is, bro, look bro, he fighting Opie. Like, come on, bro. He fighting Remy from Higher Learning. You're nothing, man. You're a monkey, Malik. 1995, cool. Bro, come on, dog. So Josh Kelly, at one point, he was showing a lot of promise early on, but then it got stifled when he fought David Avocado and got knocked out, right? And I believe switched promoters and stuff like that. And since that point, he ain't really impressed people. He ain't really done nothing. So David Avocado was in 2021. And this is a guy Lamont Peterson beat years ago. I was at that card. It was on a Broner card. I was in Cincinnati for it. He got knocked out in 6 rounds. Bear in mind, David Avocado lost to Terrence Crawford, a top welterweight, and got cooked and knocked out brutally. And then he later fought Jaron Ennis and had to retire on the stool. So you couldn't even beat the guy that, like, and you never rematched him. You couldn't beat the guy that you're contemporary, because Josh Kelly was a welterweight when the fight happened, right? You see the weights. So you as a welterweight, you couldn't beat the guy that all the other top welterweights and past people beat, Crawford and Jaron Ennis. And like I said, Lamont Peterson. So, and then you're fighting Kramer. Look, Kramer from Seinfeld. Like, no one knows any of the people you've been fighting ever since that, except for him. Oh no, never mind. I thought, bro, he looked like He part of Rockefeller. Can't stop, won't stop. Bro, he the British Rockefeller. Can't stop, won't stop. Rockefeller Breakers. We get down, baby. So it's like you haven't really been fighting anybody for people to want to see Boots versus Josh Kelly. So when your boy Ego does his thing, and I'm questioning what I'm questioning, you guys might want to fall back. Josh Kelly's 31 years old. Nothing on his resume really looks like it would beat Boots. So again, you guys lied and said Boots is more active, which I can prove is not really the case. He's not like fighting so much more than before. But beyond that for Boots is, who cares if a fighter is active, but they're not fighting nobody? You know what I mean? Like, I believe, and I've always, since a kid, quality over quantity, you know? So when you're looking at Boots' resume, he's 34-0, 30 knockouts, but it's getting to the point where at age 28, we need to see the Virgil Ortiz fight. And here's the thing. Right now, 154 is popping. Didn't I just say that? 154 is cracking. So you have so many names that would make for very good fights in this current 154-pound division. You got Sebastian Fundora. He looked great. Set the record straight in the Tim Tszyu fight. You still got Tim Tszyu, right? You got Jermell Charlo. You got Virgil Ortiz. You got Sergey Boachuk. And some of these guys like Virgil and Boachuk have fought on similar cards with the same people as you, right? And then top it off, you have Boots, where the reports and people have come out saying that T.O. called him out and Boots said he's moving up and bypassed the fight. Devin said he would take the fight with Jaron Ennis at 147, and they came back with a catch weight. What is going on, bro? Right? You made 147 flat this whole time, no questions asked. And then now you have two names that would be good names for you to boost and bolster your profile. And then now you're talking about, oh, I got to move up. Right now is the time I got to move up. Not to mention Brian Norman Jr. is fighting Devin Haney. So at a younger age, Brian Norman Jr. is really fighting a bigger name than you've ever fought with more fights. And you're older than him. This don't look good. And I've been a big fan of Jaron Ennis, but this is why it's important to have a strong team so you're moved in an appropriate way so you get the best of your skills and you can display that. The problem, why I got to be hard on a person like Boots with my commentary, is because he is a great fighter and a skilled fighter. And to me, you're just wasting time, passing time, collecting paychecks by fighting the similar type of competition, right? Josh Kelly fight does nothing for me, bro. Nothing. At this point, it does nothing. Maybe before he lost to Avanesian, maybe when you guys were both at 47, but who's asking for that? Like, who, name one person who said, I can't wait for Boots to go up to 54 because I want to see him fight Josh Kelly. I can't think of one single person who said anything like that. So for me, I'm not big on this fight. Look, somebody in my comments said Basuda, trash. Look, my boy Anthony Sims Jr., a boxer, says safe fight. Bro, Boots got to start taking some chances. It's not looking right. It's not looking right. Brian Norman is fighting a guy in Devin with a bigger profile, a bigger name, who a lot of people, I'm not saying me, but a lot of people think Devin is big enough and has enough strength and whatever where he could outbox Brian Norman. Brian is not the more experienced or decorated person over Devin Haney. So you got to give a younger Brian Norman credit for fighting a potentially dangerous opponent, right, that has some attributes over him, right? Listen to what I said. You have a guy in Brian Norman, his opponent, which has already been announced. They already did a press conference. His opponent has a deeper, like a better resume. So he's more accomplished, been undisputed. He's not super old. It's not like he's like a washed old fighter. And he has a style where he might be able to outbox you, right? So Brian Norman at a younger age as a champion is taking more risk right now than Eddie Hearn and Jaron Ennis. And then on top of that, Boots look huge. He look huge when I'm seeing him in these pictures. So I don't think he'll have a problem. Look, bro, he look huge. Pause. We got to pause that one. Bro, he looked big. So I think you should have been moved up. You should have been moved up, right? 154, you have skill, so you should be able to transition well, right? And this is who they are trying to match you with, Josh Kelly. So the other thing that looks bad is you got Jaron Ennis, who just did a extension with Matchroom. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, Boxing Ego, I stay right. This looks like Demetrius Andrade 2.0, Terrence Crawford 2.0. For Demetrius Andrade, I think it's obvious. Demetrius Andrade was being overpaid and he was with Eddie Hearn. But he wasn't fighting nobody. He was calling out, oh, I want to fight Charlo and I want this Canelo. But Eddie Hearn did not deliver those types of fights for Andrade. Andrade got his better name when he came to PBC and Al Heyman. He fought David Benavidez. Church. But with Eddie Hearn, he was fighting Lucas Keeler. You know, he was fighting guys like that and Calum and Liam and Walsh, guys like that, right? The dude with the big ears that looked like he was on something. That's who Andrade was fighting. Artur Akov, right? He didn't get no big fights. No Canelo, no Billy Joe Saunders, no Benavidez when he was with Eddie Hearn, no Charlo. But Charlo, Lions only Charlo, right? So Boots is looking like Andrade 2.0. Somebody who's a great fighter and making crazy choices that stagnate his career and getting overpaid for easy work, right? Look, multi-fight deal, Jaron Ennis, multi-year extension. So Boots Ennis decided, hey, I need to stick around with Eddie Hearn. So it's like, bro, Crawford you called out Terrence Crawford, he fighting Canelo. You can't, no matter if I like the fight or not, because I told y'all I didn't. He's challenging himself at age 38 by fighting a Canelo Alvarez, for sure. So again, you look at everybody in or around Boots Ennis that shows talent. A lot of these guys are challenged. Tim Tszyu, he fought Murtazaev, got cooked, fought Joey Spencer, got a win, and then he came back and fought against Sebastian Fundora. And the first fight was tough. He got cooked again, but he's challenging himself, right? So Tim Tszyu is challenging himself. Fundora, he fought Tim Tszyu, he fought my dude Chordell Booker, and he fought again Tim Tszyu. So he's challenging himself. And I don't think Fundora was not gonna duck Terrence Crawford. It just Crawford got a different fight. Murtazaev challenged himself, fight Tim Tszyu. Virgil Ortiz fought Boachuk and then Madrimov coming off the Crawford performance. Crawford's first fight at 154 was an undefeated Madrimov. Boots' first fight, they're talking about Josh Kelly. Come on, bro. I'm not understanding the way they're moving him. And Boots is like signing extensions and going along with it. This is exactly what Crawford did with Top Rank, where people are like, man, Crawford's great. He's a great, but the names we want to see you fight were with PBC and you weren't getting those fights and you stayed there and you re-signed before the Benavidez fight. And then your career is looked at as like your resume is not as deep as it could be, right? And after Errol Spence, and now he's starting to get a couple bigger names for his resume, Crawford. So I hate this fight. I don't see any, like, I promise you, if this fight happens, Eddie Hearn's going to have to keep going back to the same well. They will have to put this either in the UK, where it doesn't maximize Boots's spotlight. He's an American fighter. Why you got him fighting in the UK? Or maybe Saudi Arabia, which again, same concept, out of sight, out of mind for us Americans. Or they're going to have to put it in America in October and put it somewhere close to Philly, if not in Philly, because nobody wants to see this. So you got to keep milking Philadelphians and put it somewhere close where they can go, because that's Boots's immediate fan base, because he's not picking up hella new fans by fighting randoms. Very disappointing stuff. Let me know what you think. We unpacked. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard.